Welcome back to another episode of Writing with Rashad, the joy of poetic expression. This is episode 2. So I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys are as well. In these episodes, we'll be using our minds on the spot, using reflection on what we've been through, maybe what somebody said to us, all kinds of different things to write a poem on the spot. So nothing is scripted. And grab your favorite pen and notebook. Let's get started. So you guys can see, I am in a new location than the first episode. In the first episode, I was transitioning into a new house. I ended up staying there for 3 days, and I ended up getting into a huge argument and having to leave. So luckily, I held on to my old place, and I'm back here now. So it just shows you that life can throw you any hands, and actually everything that I was trying to do undid itself. So it was almost like that wasn't the path to go down, or at least to me, that's how I can view things. But when I first started the episode over there, the first word was transitioning. That was true for me because I was transitioning into that place. Before we start here, I want to remind you that you want to be mindful about what you write. Mean what you write, but be mindful about what you actually write down, because you have the ability to bring this back to you, you see? Because when I was writing that, I did mean it because I was transitioning to a new place. I did not know that I would be transitioning back. So be mindful about what you write. I find a lot of times that when I write things, it can actually come true, right? So, let's just start it off with be careful. Be careful what you write. Be careful what you write. Okay, so right now, I'm thinking, why do I want to be careful about what I write? Because, like I said, you can bring it back to you. But you also, what this is making me think is you want to be mindful about what you think as well, because thoughts have a vibration behind it as well, right? So be careful what you think. Be mindful of your thoughts, right? Be mindful of your thoughts. I think this is good advice for everyone. We could all be a lot more mindful of our thoughts and, before we act and that type of stuff. That was one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, is so people can use the muscle of thinking. It's actually a new word that I learned that I think it's I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry, guys, but it was a new term that I'm learning, and I'm always trying to learn new things, but it's something about when you're writing, it's psychoneural. I think that's what the term is, when you're using your brain to think in terms of like writing. So don't mark me on that, but because I'm learning, I was listening to an audiobook today on self-discipline. So because I'm always about self-improvement, right? So be careful what you write. Be mindful of your thoughts. Self-discipline. Self-discipline. Okay. Self-discipline. What does self-discipline do? It could make you a better person in terms of reaching your goals and knowing who you are and learning who you are. It's very important to figure out who you are, and that goes into having a purpose. And a lot of people, I feel, are walking around not really having a true purpose. So it's important to know who you are, because then you can find your purpose. And then if you have purpose, you can live. And my purpose is to show you this poetry. So, self-discipline is really important. That goes hand in hand with knowing yourself. So self-discipline is key. Self-discipline is key to finding your purpose. You see how this is coming to me, guys? It's just like I'm literally having conversation and literally just talking and speaking what's true to me, what's real for me, and sharing it with you, and also being able to write from that, This is just one way to do it. There's many different ways, and we're going to go over that throughout these episodes, but I hope that you all are learning and like kind of grasping what I'm doing here. So we're going to start from the beginning. Be careful what you write. Be mindful of your thoughts. Self-discipline is key to finding your purpose. And I explain why I feel that's key to finding your purpose, because when you discipline yourself, you start to learn about yourself, what makes you tick, You know, what makes you happy? You know, what makes you sad? You know, it's really important to figure these things out about yourself, because when other people are acting out of character and doing things that make you upset and stuff, you'll know how to respond, or you'll keep your center. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's really important. You know, I was talking to the lady at the gas station today, and she said some dude came flying in, and she said, "Hey, could you please, come in, a little slower next time?" And he was like, "Screw you, this and that, this and that." And it's like, man, you can't even talk to people. And she was doing that because kids walk through the gas station, and I walk through the gas tank sometimes. So, you just want to be real mindful, and this is why it's important and key to like self-discipline, so you can find your purpose, so you can be a calmer person, right? So self-discipline is key to finding your purpose. To keep your center, to keep your center, to keep your center. Okay, so to keep your center, no, so here, let's erase that. To keep your inner peace, because that's what I mean when I say center, right? So to keep your inner peace, and I like to use rhyming schemes in my art, because I think that it's kind of snazzy, and like I said, it keeps people engaged to me. So when I'm thinking, what automatically comes to my mind right now is like, what do I do to keep my peace? I write poetry. That's my release, right? That's my release. We all need a release to feel the inner peace. I know it rhymes, and it may not come that easy for you, but that's automatically what came to my mind. And you want to write what comes to your mind, what's true. Even if it don't make sense to some people, you can go back and edit. But for the sake of this video, this is making sense. So here we go, right? So to keep your peace, to keep your inner peace, you must find a release, right? You must find a release. And this comes in many different forms for many people. Like mine is just poetry, and writing. I mean, I have a best friend, and his is fishing. So and I like to bowl too. So there's tons of different things we can do to find a release. And your job for you is to find out what it is for you, to keep that inner peace. You know what I mean? Because if we're a more peaceful world, everything could be better. And I know that you guys would like a better world, because I would like to see a better world. I feel like we're in a time right now where things are getting out of hand and out of our minds, where, people could get killed, or, people could pay so much for gas, and like, it's like, oh, what are we going to do though? And it's just like, it's numbing almost. But, and when we should be feeling for it and doing something about it, right? So this is why we got to think more, and this is why we got to know ourselves, so we can know how to react. So to keep your inner peace, you must find a release. I was like, so we can act, right? So we can act now, so we can react to whatever happens, because we want to be in a position where we start doing our own thing instead of reacting to everything, so that so that we can attack it and do what we need to do, so that we can prevent it from happening again. You get what I mean? Whether it's inflation, whether it's mass shootings, whether it's wars, overseas, whatever it is. So I hope that makes sense. So to keep your inner peace, you must find a release. And I was thinking, you must find a release. And I was talking about reacting. So I was thinking about acting, like action. You got to act now, right? We got to act now and not react, right? So to keep your inner peace, you must find a release. It's time to act now. It's time to act now. Okay, so then I was talking about reaction, right? So it's time to act now. And I was thinking about, my mind started going down, like start shooting off, and like these offshoots of thinking about, it's time to act now. And then start thinking about the reaction time, like, because like, I like to use like metaphor, but also like, just kind of make it like, make like a metaphor bounce off another metaphor, I guess you can make it say, or like, just make it so that your mind starts to think, right? So it's time to act now. And I'm thinking like a quick reaction. Okay, it's time to act now. It's time to act now. It's time to act now. No time for reenactment. Because this is what's happening. This is happening right now. This is not an act. We can't react anything. We can't replay. I mean, they say history repeats itself, but that doesn't mean we have to act the same way if it does repeat itself, right? So it's time to act now. No. It's time to act now. No reenactment. Reenactment. Okay. It's time to act now. No reenactment. Okay, so it's time to act now. No reenactment. Because we're living in the moment, and you have to take each moment. All you have is this moment right now, so you gotta not procrastinate too much, on even getting to know yourself. It's time to do it right now. So go ahead, start asking yourself questions. I've questioned myself a lot, and when I can't find questions, I can't find the answers, the solutions to my questions, I start to question the questions that I have. So it's really important. This is not an act. This is all live, and this is not scripted. So there's no time for reenactment for anything. So we're gonna start from the top. Be careful what you write. Be mindful of your thoughts. Self-discipline is key to finding your purpose. To keep your inner peace, you must find release. It's time to act now. No reenactment. So I'm gonna say life is not a reenactment. So that's what we can say, right? So boom, boom. I'll just erase this here. I'll say life is not a reenactment. Life is not a reenactment. Okay, so now what I'm thinking right now, so reenactment, I went into, I'm thinking like acting. So I'm thinking stage, right? So I'm thinking like, because that's what people do on stage, but then they say the world is a stage, right? So life is not a reenactment, even though they say this world is a stage. Even though they say this world is a stage. Okay, guys, so I'm doing close to like 13 to 15 minutes, and I'm gonna ask my assistant, are we getting close to that time? Are we getting close to that time? Okay, so we're at 12 minutes. Great. All right, so we got another minute. Let's see what we can squeeze out of here, because the point of me doing this is because it's a quick exercise and just showing you how we can have a natural conversation. We can just be flowing, and you can use that to create writing of your own, right? So be careful of what you write. Be mindful of your thoughts. Self-discipline is key to finding your purpose. To keep your inner peace, you must find release. It's time to act now. Life is not a reenactment, even though they say this world is a stage. Even though they say this world is a stage, right? So, life is not a reenactment, even though they say this world is a stage. Sometimes you can get, stuck, or not stuck, but ideas don't flow as freely. Life is not a reenactment, even though they say this world is a stage. Say this world is a stage. Life is not a reenactment, even though they say this world is a stage. And then I'm just going to stay true to myself, because sometimes you can just stay true to whatever you want to say. It don't have to rhyme. It's just say what you feel. That's sometimes what you have to do as well. So even though they say this world is a stage, so what I feel, even though they say this world is a stage, I'm still going to stay true to myself, right? Because I'm self-disciplined. So even though they say this world is a stage, I stay true to my character. You guys get that now? Because it's a stage. You going into character when you're on stage. So that's how I put it. I bring it together, right? So I stay true to my character. I stay true to my character. Okay, life is not a reenactment, even though they say this world is a stage. I stay true to my character. I stay true to my character. Even when the lights, even when the curtains close. Like, it doesn't matter who's looking, and like, I'm not like one of those men behind the curtain who's faking about who he is. So, I feel like that will be a good end there. life is not a reenactment, even though they say this world is a stage. I stay true to my character, even when the curtains close. And we're going to end it right here, and with a little signature. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all next week.